Hello guys, in the last video we have seen how instance flow of execution and static flow of execution both are available in a single application. Now in this video also we are going to continue the same static flow and instance flow of execution in another example. Right. If you observe this static context, three elements are available here as it is. What are the three elements? You know, static variables, static methods and static block. And if you observe this instance context, again three elements are available: instance variables, instance methods and instance block, and finally construct is available. How that static context behavior and how instance context behavior is available in our application here, that we are going to see now. Now I'll prepare a simple example. First of all, here I will take class A. Inside this class A, I will take which one? Static context. Inside this static context here we will provide which one? Sys.out.println of SBA, here we provided. Next one is instance context, Sys.out.println of IBA, here we are providing. So static context, Sys.out.println of SBA, and instance black we provided Sys.out.println of IBA. That's fine. Next one is static int I is equal to M1 method. Next one is int j is equal to M2 method, here we provided. Then after that, static int M1 method definition here we provided. System.out.println of M1a, here we provided. Then after that, return 10 value. Next one is, then after that, int M2 method here we provided. Inside this int M2 method, here we are going to provide system.out.println of M2a, here we are getting. Then after that, here we have to return 20 value, here we are going to get return 20. So return 10 and return 20, here we are getting. And finally, we are going to take which one here? Constructor, A class constructor, here we are going to take. Inside this A class constructor, sys.out.println of acon is a content here we provided. So if you observe this total class K, in a class K, first we have taken static block, next immediately instance block here we have taken. Next one is static variable, next immediately instance variable we have taken. Next one is then immediately static method, here we have taken static method. Then after that immediately instance method, here we have taken. Finally constructor here we have taken. It's okay now. This is the constructor. Right sir. After this constructor, here what next one now? In our main class and in our main method, inside this A1 is equal to new A object, here we created first object. Now here A2 is equal to new A, second object here we created. Right sir. If you observe this total Java file, how many classes are existed here inside this Java file now? If you observe the number of classes, now class A, this is class A, one class. Next one is which one? Class tester, second class is available. So if I compile this Java file, two .class files here we are able to get. One is tester.class file and other one is a.class file. Two .class files here we are able to get here. That's fine. When we execute class tester, when we execute test class, JVM will load test class bytecode to the memory. Inside the test class, if you have any static context like static variable and static blocks, then they are going to be executed automatically. But static methods, depending on the call only, that will be executed. Of course, main method is static method, that will be called by JVM. That's fine. So no static variable and no static block, that's why no output will be generated now. Then after that, immediately after loading this test class, immediately JVM will call main method. When JVM calls main method, immediately JVM encounter object creation statement. First object creation statement is encountered by JVM. A1 is equal to new A constructor, that is encountered by JVM. When JVM encounters this particular instruction there, immediately JVM will load A class bytecode to the memory. But before loading A class bytecode to the memory, first JVM has to check whether A class bytecode is already loaded or not. JVM has to check whether A class bytecode is already loaded or not. If A class bytecode is already loaded, previously, now JVM is not loading A class bytecode again and again. JVM is not loading A class bytecode again and again here. If A class bytecode is already loaded, then what? Okay, fine. If A class bytecode is not loaded, now definitely JVM will load A class bytecode to the memory. Now the situation is which one? So far A class bytecode was not loaded. Why? Because first time we are creating object for class K in our main method. So far A class bytecode was not loaded. When A class bytecode is not loaded, definitely now JVM is loading A class bytecode to the memory. When JVM is loading A class bytes code to the memory, immediately then JVM will execute static context of the respective class. We know already at what time static context will be recognized and executed. Exactly at the time of loading the respective class bytes code to the memory. At the time of loading the respective class bytes code to the memory, static context will be recognized and executed. Now JVM is loading A class bytes code to the memory, so JVM has to search and execute static context in our class K. Now JVM will search for static context right from starting point of the class to ending point of the class. In which order we provided static context, in the same order it is going to be executed. Now the very first one is which one can know? Static block. Now static block is eligible at load time, so this will be executed. By the execution of this here we are getting which one? SBA is an output here we are getting first output. Next one is which one they know? Instance block. Instance block is not eligible to execute at load time, so just skip it, it is not executed. Next one is which one they know? Static variable. Static variable is eligible to execute at load time, so static variable is recognized here and static variable must be initialized. When static variable is initialized here, then immediately JVM will execute which one they know? M1 method. Why? Because M1 method call is identified at the initialization part of the static variable. So JVM must execute M1 method. Then immediately flow of execution will come to the static M1 method directly. Inside the static M1 method, system.out.println of M1A output here we are getting there. Output is which one they know? M1A output here we are getting. Whenever we are getting M1A output here, next one is which one? Return 10 is an output here we are getting. The 10 value will be assigned to which variable can know? I variable directly. Whenever this M1 method is executed, where system.out.println of M1A output we are getting, next one is which one? Return 10 value here we are getting. The 10 value will be assigned to which variable can know? I variable. Now static variable is completed. Next one is which one they know? Instance variable. Instance variable is not eligible at the load time of the respective class. Leave it. Next one is static method is eligible. Static method is eligible, but required which one can know? Method call. So previously static method call is identified, so it was executed. But this time JVM encounter directly static method definition, not like which one there? Static method call. If method call is not identified, the static method is not going to be executed. Just leave it. Next one is which one can know? Instance method. Instance method is not eligible while loading the respective class byte code. Instance method is not at all eligible to execute at load time. It's okay. At now what we are getting then? Constructor. Constructor is also not eligible at loading the respective class byte code. So totally A class byte code is loaded. By loading A class byte code to the memory, which output here we are getting? First output is which one? SBA. Next output is which one? As per this M1 method call, M1A output we are getting. By loading A class bytes code to the memory, here we are getting SBA, and as well as which one can know? M1A output here we are getting there. After loading A class bytes code to the memory, now JVM has to execute which one there? Constructor. So inside this class K, zero argument constructor is available. Now JVM has to recognize and execute this particular zero argument constructor. But there is a fundamental point in the case of Java. What is that fundamental point now? Before executing constructor, if I have any instance context in our Java application, first JVM has to execute instance context in our Java class now. Right, sir. Now let us search for instance context right from starting point of the class to ending point of the class now. In which order we provided instance context, in the same order it is going to be executed. If you observe this class here, first one is which one can know? Static block. It is not eligible. Leave it. Now next one is which one? Instance block. Exactly. It is eligible now. Now it is eligible. Now get that output is which one can know? IBA is an output here we are getting. Next one is which one they know? Static variable. Static variable is not eligible. Why? Because it is eligible at loading time only, but now we are at runtime. Before executing construct only we are checking, no? So static variable is not eligible, but instance variable is eligible. Next variable is which one? Instance variable. Instance variable is eligible. Along with that instance variable, here we are calling which method here now? M2 method here we are calling there. Whenever we are calling M2 method here, flow of execution will come to which method there now? M2 method. Inside this M2 method here we are getting output is which one here now? M2A output here we are getting. Whenever we are getting output like M2A, we return 20 values available. The 20 value will be assigned to which variable there now? Directly J variable. So here M2A is an output we are getting, and instance variable is recognized and initialized here directly. After that, static method is eligible, static method is available, static method is eligible, but required method call here. Directly it is not going to be executed now. Next one is instance method is also eligible but required method call. So method call is not identified. At the end of the constructor. So now all the instance context is executed. Finally constructor will be executed. By the execution of this constructor here we are getting output is which one? Acon is an output. So with respect to the instance context of this particular class, which output here we are getting there? IBA is the first output now. And the second output is which one here? M2A is the second output. Next one. Finally here we are getting which output here? No. Acon is an output we are getting. With respect to this first object creation, what exactly the output here we are getting total output now? The total output will be like which one? SBA. Next one is which one here? M1A. Then after that what next one here? Then static context is completed. Next one is instance context IBA. Then after completion of this instance context IBA, M2A here we are getting as per our M2 method call M2A. Then at finally Acon is an output we are getting. That is as per which one first object creation here output here we are getting there. Next one is then after that JVM encounter which one here? Second object creation statement. When JVM encounters second object creation statement, first JVM has to load A class byte code to the memory. But before loading A class byte code to the memory, first JVM has to check whether A class byte code is already existed or not existed. First JVM has to check whether A class byte code is already existed or not existed. If you observe this, whether A class byte code is already existed or not, so already A class byte code is available. For example, if A class byte code is already loaded, JVM will not load again and again same class byte code. If A class byte code is not loaded, so definitely JVM has to load A class byte code to the memory. Now what is the situation in this program here? Already at the time of creating first object, JVM has loaded A class byte code to the memory. At the time of creating first object, JVM has to load which one there? A class byte code. Already A class byte code is loaded. When A class byte code is already loaded, while creating second object, JVM will not load again the same class byte code. When JVM is not loading again the same class byte code, again JVM is not executing static context. Now here JVM reusing that initially loaded byte code. Reusing initially loaded byte code without loading second time, in the sense reusing static context again, it is not going to be executed second time here now. Okay fine. Static context is not executed while creating second object. Okay fine. Byte code is not required to be loaded. Already it is available. Already it was loaded here. Now JVM is going to execute constructor. When JVM is going to be executed constructor here, we know already one fundamental point in the case of Java. What is that fundamental point now? Before executing the respective class constructor, first JVM has to recognize and execute instance context of the respective class K. Before executing constructor, JVM has to recognize and execute instance context of the respective class K. Now search for this instance context in our class K right from starting point here now. If you observe this, the very first one is which one? Static block. Static block is not eligible at runtime. Now, okay fine. Next one is which one there? Instance block. Instance block is eligible. Output is which one here? IBA. That's fine. Next one is static variable. Static variable is not eligible at runtime. Okay fine. Leave it. Next one is which one? Instance variable is eligible. So instance variable is recognized and initialized. As part of this instance variable initialization, M2 method call is identified. Then immediately flow of execution will come to which one? M2 method. Inside this M2 method, system.out.println of M2A output here we are getting there. After getting this output, return 20 value we are getting there. The 20 value will be assigned to which variable here? No, J variable directly. Here 20 value will be assigned to the J variable directly. It's okay. Then after that, after completion of this instance variable recognition and initialization, next one is JVM will execute which one? Will search for which one? Next element is a static method. Even static method is eligible but required method call. But here we are not having any method call. Just leave it. Next one is instance method. Instance method is also eligible but required method call. Leave it now. So at finally here we are coming for which one? Constructor. Now finally constructor will be executed. That constructor output is which one? Acon. So with respect to the second object creation, what exactly the output here we are getting? With respect to the second object creation, no static context will be generated. So no static context output we are getting. Only instance context output here we are getting with respect to the second object creation. Why? Because at the time of creating second object, A class byte code is not loaded second time. Only first time it was loaded, the same A class byte code was reused. So with respect to the second object, only instance context output here we are getting. Which output? What exactly the instance context output here we are getting there? First output is which one? IBA, and next output is which one? Directly M2A. Then finally Acon is an output we are getting with respect to the second object creation. Overall, with respect to the total program, what exactly the output here we are getting there? If you observe that the total program, the total output from this program is which one? SBA, first of all, static context output, SBA, and next one is which one here? M1A, we are getting. Then after that, next output is instance context output, IBA, next one is which one? M2A with respect to the first object. Now with, and finally ACON. With respect to the second object creation, first output is which one? IBA. After completion of this IBA, next one is which one there? M2A. Then at finally ACON is an output we are getting. This is the total flow of execution here we can identify. Now let me run this example here. We are able to see some content here now. Let me run this example. Inside this program, SBA, M1A, IBA, M2A and ACON we are getting. Next one is which one? IBA, M2A and ACON. If you observe this first output here, that first object creation output is which one? Both static context and instance context is available. With respect to the second object creation output, no, only we are having instance context output, we are not having which one here? No, static context output here. This is what exactly the output here we are getting from this particular example.